Hi everybody. This is Sips and Stories. I'm Sandy Shook. I am here with Mark. Mark, could you introduce yourself?
Sandy, it's a pleasure to be here today. Thank you for having me. My name is Mark Bittle. I'm the owner of Connectionmark.
Explain to me what it is that you do with Connectionmark.
I like to tell people that I help others get out of their own way. A lot of times we as business owners, we put up our own roadblocks and we're too close to the situation, so it helps to have a third person come in and help us identify what that is. I call myself a consultant, a coach, and a mentor, depending on who I'm working with.
Mm-hmm. Great. And of course, you've helped me with my business plan. So when I went to Mark, I don't know, a couple months ago now, maybe 3, I don't even remember, but I was kind of spinning my wheels and I kept thinking, not really sure. I knew what I was doing, but I know I needed more. And when I sat down with him, he asked me all the questions I needed to know, and it just kind of gave me a little bit of peace going, okay, I could answer all the questions.
97% of them, but yes, all of them.
Right. Without crying too. Not all of them though, but so where is it that are you originally from Colorado?
I'm from Des Moines, Iowa, born and raised. I moved out to Colorado Springs in September of 2008 and just really got involved in the community immediately by getting involved with organizations like chambers, business incubators, soccer. Yeah.
Oh, soccer too, okay.
Yeah.
So are you pretty heavily involved in any of the chambers now, or?
Yes, the best chamber in the entire planet, Sandy, the Tri-Lakes Chamber of Commerce.
Yes.
I've been a member since 2011. Currently serve on the board of directors for the Tri-Lakes Chamber of Commerce. You're an ambassador, that's why. But I've been at any given time, at one point, I was a member of 17 chambers around the state of Colorado.
Oh my goodness. How did you manage that?
I went to every business after hours.
Did they have them on different nights then, or?
Tuesdays were always tough because I started I past board member of the Southern Colorado Women's Chamber of Commerce, and the third Tuesday of every month they have their luncheon. Then I'd get in the car and I'd go to Salida for the business after hours Tuesday night. Or no, that was Tri-Lakes Tuesday night. Wednesday was Salida. Alamosa was on Thursdays.
Wow.
And I just made myself around Woodland Park.
So if y'all need advice on how to work the chambers, although Tri-Lakes is probably, what was I going to say? No, Tri-Lakes is the best.
I agree.
It really is a large community that feels like home to me. And I don't know if that's how you feel about it, coming from the Midwest anyway.
Yeah, growing up in Iowa, seeing main streets, getting to know your neighbors, growing up in a neighborhood where I knew everyone on the street. The Tri-Lakes Chamber of Commerce does feel like family. And it's an extended family for me because I've worked with so many different businesses. But what I love about being a member of the chamber, it's not so much as to show up to get business, it's to show up like you and who can I connect you with others. And just, there's that genuine care that I see that is lost in some of those.
So is that a learned behavior, or did you actually grow up with that? Do you have a large family, or? You look at me like I'm supposed to know.
No.
You probably told me.
No. So I am the youngest of 6 of a blended family. I'm the baby of the family. I tell people that my parents kept having children until they found one they liked. And then
and you were the spoiled one because you were 4. So then did you go to college? So college, you went there in Iowa, then you came out here after college, or what?
So I went to Simpson College, a small liberal arts school 30 minutes south of Des Moines. Studied psychology. Went into psychology, education, social work. Took as many courses as I possibly could until my academic advisor said you need to take some of the general ed courses.
Oh, so you did the backward way.
Yeah, so I took
You
everything
did everything you liked.
up to the 400 level classes, and then I transferred to Iowa State, and then took a sabbatical for 12 years. Before I went back and finished my degree
Wow,
in Colorado
really?
Springs at Regis University.
And did it actually transfer? Because I knew somebody that actually had all, like, I don't know, 21 credits, but it was the generals that kept him from graduating, and he had to take them all over again because it was way too long. I think it was like 14 years or something like that he went back. But 12 years, they still let you transfer those
All
credits. Wow.
111 credits transferred. And then I took 56 credit hours in 12 months to finish my degree in communications.
Wow. So you did not have a life when you were finishing that degree, or did you
Oh, it was
still?
fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's funny. I would show up to the speech class, and by the time I went back to finish my degree, I'd started 7 businesses. I sold one. I bankrupted one.
Wow.
I had 4 competitors that left my mortgage company to go start their mortgage companies. And it's always been about, I have a quote that's in my office that says, the biggest fear that a manager has is train their staff so well that they fear they will leave.
Yeah.
My biggest fear as a manager is to not train my staff and have them stay. So,
Yeah.
yeah, we were the first mortgage company to have 100% of our loan officers certified.
Wow. Well, it's really funny because we've known each other through the chamber for, 3 years or so. And it was just only last year that we finally sat down and had coffee.
Oh yeah,
With each other.
it was
I
3
mean-
years of we need to get on the calendar, and then
We
finally,
finally got on the calendar, and then that's when I found out that you used to be a mortgage lender. I'm like, what? I could have been actually learning from you all this time, especially with you training people. That's crazy.
yeah, I was the president of the Iowa Association of Mortgage Brokers. On the national level, I served on the education committee, certification committee, and spent a lot of time in the early 2000s trying to get our elected officials to enforce the laws that were out there, not change them. And I became a mortgage compliance expert and was traveling the country.
Wow. And do you dabble in mortgage at all anymore? Especially with your consulting, do you do anything like on that side? So if I would come to you and say, hey, I want to be a better mortgage lender. Can you help me?
I don't think that's possible. I think you're amazing, Sandy, and you could teach me a few things.
Oh, well, about talking. Yeah.
The skills, it's all about people. It's all about developing the processes, the procedures, developing the rapport so that people trust you. And then the rest is just getting into the process. But it's about managing expectations. But no, when in 2008 during the financial crisis,
That's right, I forget. I always forget
Yep.
about that.
it really hit home personally because I was teaching RESPA, I was teaching TILA, I spent time in New York City at Prometrics writing and validating the test questions for the mortgage certification that are now the NMLS
You're
questions.
the one to blame for those. Oh,
Yeah. Do you remember those 2 that you had to decide between?
I hate multiple choice. That's my worst enemy.
Yeah. So it really hurt when the Dodd-Frank bill came out, and those of us that knew what the rules were and those that didn't, it felt like a punch to the gut.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. So, okay, you moved out of that then, and then what did you go into from there?
So I had Mortgage Innovations, I had Capital Connection, which was my commercial finance brokerage. I had a consulting company, Progressive Impact, going around to audit my colleagues and peers around the Midwest.
So it sounds as though you like to get into you're not doing this right. You better be in compliance.
You would
Is
think.
that what you get joy over?
No. know what the rules are so that I know how far I can go, and
Yeah.
I take a step back.
But it probably helps you too when you're working with businesses, with business owners, to try to figure out, what piece of their, their chaos isn't working.
Organized chaos. That's something I use quite a bit.
Yeah.
It's I love to learn, and I finally realized that at 32 that that's what my superpower is. If there's something to learn, I don't want to get the surface level. I want to go as deep as possible to find that root cause or that root foundation, and then build everything back up from there.
Mm-hmm.
So it truly is about, if I'm going to do something, I want to do something to the point of mastery and really become an expert. You'll never hear me call myself an expert, but there's so much more to learn.
Yeah, well, and you encourage people to actually call themselves experts in their field. So
Yes.
I think that's something that, it's a gift that you have, that I think it allows you to, because of your research and how you know how to dig into where it is that you can find information. I'm finding now so many different pieces of where I can find information, and I'm just sharing it all over the place because of that. So
Yeah.
The databases that are available, I learned back in '99 when they were still a phone book. So Data Axle is one of them. At that point in time, it was called Reference USA, based out of Omaha. When I was licensed in life, health, accident at Principal Financial Group, that's where we went to go learn about our prospects. Mm-hmm. There wasn't the internet. You couldn't call references to say, hey, tell me about Ed Bittle and where does he work and where does he live and what's his estimated income and net worth.
Yeah. Isn't that crazy now that we can see that?
I've been looking at it since '99. I call myself a certified ethical stalker. There's no actual certification for it, but if you need the information, I know where to get it.
No kidding. Oh my gosh. Yeah, so you actually worked for a bigger organization here in town.
Yes.
And the thing is that what I loved that I learned about you is that you, just like what I did when I was doing fundraising for one of the schools in town, I had a template that I started building on. The first year sucked. Okay, sorry. First year was really hard.
It was challenging, Sandy. Let's call it what it was.
Yes, it was challenging. But, when I was able to turn that over to somebody, I felt so proud that I had a template that they could actually use, to be successful. And that's what I find with what you do, is that you, because of your experience in the bigger, how long were you at the other, I don't know if you want to say where.
So I moved here in September of 2008, got involved with the chambers and local business incubators. Nobody knew who I was and I didn't know anyone in town. That was the best way for me to be able to show up and share what it is that I know without telling people I can do that. Many people don't know when I moved here, I was making $10.50 an hour at the Marriott.
Wow.
I was an on-call banquet server, and I always wanted to bartend. So I went to the bartending school up on North Academy, learned to sling 412 drinks in less than 2 weeks, became a certified mixologist. But
I love all the fancy titles that they have on people now.
That's right.
It's not a chemist, it's a mixologist.
Mixologist, actual certification. And you wouldn't think that working a banquet room would be a great way to network, but when you're standing around the outside of the room, looking at who's moving and shaking, you can find out real quick who are the connectors in the room and who are not the connectors. So, and who sees you and who pretends not to see you, which tells a lot about people as well. So that's when I was finishing my degree at Regis. worked for a managed services company, and then became the market development manager for CenturyLink. So as a local executive, it was funny, the first day on the job was May 11th, 2011. I get a call the Wednesday before from the vice president general manager down here in Colorado Springs. He said, "Hey Mark, you got the job. Can you be in Monroe, Louisiana on Monday?"
Oh, jeez.
So I didn't have
Wow.
a credit card, I didn't have any means to get there, so they put me up. I met up with my colleague Randy Krause at the Dallas-Fort Worth airport, and I get this phone call, and he says, "Hey there, partner, what you wearing?" Well, that came out wrong. He follows that up with, and I said, "You must be Randy." He goes, "Yeah." So we connected at Dallas-Fort Worth. I was on his expense card for that week.
Met 56 of my peers from around the country.
Wow.
And over the next 5 years, I was managing sponsorships for Sky Sox, Colorado College, World Arena. I had this great idea that no one understood to sponsor the Cheyenne Mountain Zoo. And it was the best sponsorship for the return on investment. So I created a calculator that I would have had for my businesses, where I could track how many impressions, what's the return on investment, and I broke it down into a 2-digit number, decimal point, 2-digit, to the 100th degree, and I could really track the return on investments. But I'm working with the team and rolling out Internet Protocol Television, Prism TV, in 2012. The large 150 Fortune 500 companies, they always do brand. And Colorado Springs became the best brand in the entire company of 37 states. And it was because I managed it like a small business.
Yeah.
And the small business principles work. We just have to know how to manage to them.
Right.
Yeah. So it was fun.
Yeah. So then you went into, then you started Connectionmark then from that, or?
No.
Come on.
Yeah, right?
It's like, how many years of experience do you have? The whole purpose for you to be talking on Sips and Stories is really to have the audience here and, out there, to understand where you got all your expertise in, how that all got built up, and then the struggles, that, obviously you did say that in the beginning, some of the things that you had, and then they went away, and then you started again, so you're constantly starting new things. And I just want to get that out there to what it is that.
Owning a business is not for the faint of heart. In Storm Lake, so to go back to when I was 12 years old, I would ride my bicycle from 901 West 5th Street down to Main Street, and I would go to Benjamin Franklin. I'd buy my baseball cards, I'd buy my threads for my friendship bracelets, the hobbies, the crafts. Brass Buckle was one of my favorite places to get my jeans. And G. Willikers was my favorite restaurant.
G. Willikers, oh my gosh, that's really a restaurant?
Yes.
Is it still open?
No.
Aw.
There was a big box store that opened up outside of town, about 3 miles on the highway. And I started to see Main Street go dark. At 12 years old, that sucked.
Yeah.
So I started to see my friends, one of my friends in particular, his mother lost his job at a retail store, and his father was a firefighter, and they went from a dual income household to a single family income household, and it hit me really hard. So that's where the passion for small business came from.
Still get choked up talking about it. And that's where I knew that's what I wanted to do. When I was 17 years old, I was walking around Valley West Mall. If you remember the store's accessories, big picture frames with a quote, and the quote that spoke to me was 100 years from now, it won't matter the size of the house that I lived in, or the kind of car that I drove, or the amount of money in my bank account, and I have the bank account to prove it. But the only thing that matters is the difference that you made in the life of a child. That's when I knew I wanted to study psychology, social work, education, and help children and low-income families. started hearing what you make as a psychologist. And that child became business owners that are on
Well,
Main
there you
Street,
go. Yeah.
not business owners that are on Wall Street.
Mm-hmm.
And I hired a business coach that I paid $500 a month, give or take. And after 4.5 years, he taught me so much, but it was rattling around, and someone had to ask the question that I then had to search for the answer and come out. So after investing $27,000 in him, he was amazing.
Yeah.
There had to be a better way.
Mm-hmm.
So I started facilitating business planning and strategic planning back in 2006, and now
And you
created.
said, what, 17? You were,
I was 17 back in 93, 94, but created my own curriculum. I've been facilitating the longest running strategic planning workshop in town since 2011, so.
wow. So do you have something like that going on now?
I do,
Schedule?
yeah. November,
Let's talk about it.
November 6th, I have the first Connectionmark strategic planning course that's coming up. I actually just put out on yesterday, let's name the workshop. So I want the
yeah.
community to help me name this workshop. But it really is a 6-week intensive,
Now, have you done that before?
24 years.
Really? Do you do that like quarterly or?
Moving forward, the plan is to do that workshop every quarter. I may be looking at doing one every single month. I'll be doing a business startup workshop twice a month. And then I have Tuesdays with Mark, which is a drop-in session that clients can come up with. And yeah, we're just getting started.
Third Wednesday of the month now, too?
Third Wednesday of the month. That one's exclusive to clients that I've worked with, where everyone who has gone through this process can now mix and mingle with others who've gone through the Dame Bramage of creating a strategic business and communications plan.
Yeah.
And what's different about that networking group is you know what it took to go through that. I mean, it's not easy. You're an hour and a half, 2 hours, you and I are having conversations. But everyone else in that room went through that same process. So the referrals happen immediately. Last month I had the first one, and I had one client who's a member of the Tri-Lakes Chamber. He walked out with 5 leads,
Wow.
and 4 of them closed.
When you do what you love and you find your passion, there isn't a day that I feel like I'm going to work. There are some days that I come home more stressed than others. But I do play soccer, I like skiing, I like getting out in the outdoors. I do like being in my yard. You can't look at my yard today to really see that. I haven't watered it in a couple of years, but...
Oh, a couple of years? I thought you were going to say a couple of weeks, and I was going to say I've had mine off for a month now. So.
And it's funny, when your sprinkler system goes down, you're like, well,
Yeah.
this one's green, this one's brown. I'm like, well, let's just
Come on,
Xeriscape
rain.
it naturally.
Yeah. And do the rain dance.
That's right. We've been lucky the last couple of years.
We have been, yes. And so you've been growing weeds now, or growing
They're pretty flowers.
wildflowers.
Wildflowers. Yep. We pull the weeds.
Yeah. So,
Being from the Midwest, I know which one's a weed, which one's not.
yeah,
Pretty
so
weed.
can I ask you, as a board member of the Tri-Lakes Chamber, I don't know if you can share a little bit of what that role entails for you and for others that are part of that role. I mean, is that okay to ask?
Of course. Tri-Lakes Chamber of Commerce, we talked about why I love being a member of this chamber. Being on the board with other board members, we truly are looking out for the best interest of the chamber, financially, programming, managing the budget, watching what's going on. But the staff does such a wonderful job of putting on the sheer number of events. You would think that they have a staff of 10 people, and it's 3.5.
And they're always available. I'm like, I don't know how.
I don't think they want you to tell about everyone that they're always available.
Well,
but
no, but that's the whole thing. It's like, with as busy as they are, it just amazes me that you get a quick response. It's not like you know, you have to wait for a week to, you know, get answers and, you know, and just the, I don't know.
They
I
truly,
mean, I could probably talk, you know.
right, that's why
For
you're
the
an
time.
ambassador, Sandy.
It's easy to talk about what the staff does, what the organization does, because they bend over backwards. You know, what they post on social media isn't beating their chest about what they're doing for the community. It's what they're doing for their members. And then how that affects the community. And it's really raising the awareness of what a Chamber of Commerce is meant to do. Not, here's what we're doing, like and share. It's easy to share what they do.
Well, so then as a board member, then I'm assuming, I mean, because even being an ambassador, you know, there's things that come up and we bring it to the ambassadors meeting, and I'm assuming that that's the same way with being on the board, or do you guys just, you know, I was on the board of one of the schools, you know, the school that I had the fundraisers for. I'm assuming that it's the same way that the leaders actually tell you what's going on, and you guys discuss, you know, how to fix it, change it,
Well,
implement it, I don't know.
it's interesting because coming from Des Moines and being president of the Iowa Association of Mortgage Brokers and serving on the delegate council for the National Association, you know, Robert's Rules of Order exist to keep meetings on track. The agenda exists for us to go through what we need to be focused on and how we can help, but it's where can we pitch in. I love that the ambassadors come to the board members come to the ambassadors meeting once a month so that we are connecting all of those organizations together, or all the volunteers together, which make us more cohesive as a team, sharing about what's coming up, what's going on, the attendance at the ribbon cuttings. But board of directors as a whole, I've served on a lot of boards, Big Brothers, Big Sisters, the Pikes Peak Therapeutic Riding Center, which is now Stable Strides, Southern Colorado Women's Chamber, the Tri-Lakes Chamber of Commerce.
So what makes you want to be part of a board instead of just being a member that just pops in whenever you can?
A board member's responsibility is to hold the executive director accountable towards the budget, towards programming.
Again, you guys, the compliance stuff.
for everything else. And I've served on boards that people don't know what to do. If you know, the financials are, people don't understand that when you are a board member, you have fiduciary responsibility. And there's a lot of boards out there, or organizations, that don't have directors and officers insurance. Well, if there isn't directors and officers insurance, then board members don't realize that the responsibility can come back on them and hit them with their personal assets or professional assets.
Do you look into that sort of thing as well with the businesses that you work with?
Of course, yeah. As you know, I'm not the consultant that says you need to do this. I'm the consultant that is good cop, bad cop, and it's really about how do you want to run your business? Because the clients that I work with know how to run their business better than anyone else. I spoke about that at the quarterly luncheon a couple of months ago. But if I can find out how you want to run your business, I can better prepare you for, do you have key person insurance? What's your contingency strategy? What's your exit strategy? Most people start a business and they think they're going to run the business for the rest of their life.
Or the business is going to run them for the rest of their life. I don't know which one. But we need to begin with the end in mind. Are you going to run this? Are you going to sell it? Are you going to transfer it? There are so many questions that come up. And then we dig into financials and projections. I like to say that I'm about a 7 or 8 as far as knowledge and experience with the 8 pillars of business. But wherever it meets what I can talk to or prepare clients for, I have clients that I can refer these clients to. Like Carol Nolan with CPN and Associates, a fractional CFO, Justin Still with Tallboy Marketing. But I always recommend 3 to 5 different people that clients can reach out to so that they can find someone that they want to work with, not someone that I say they should work with.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and I think that's what Sips and Stories is really all about, or I guess I should say Coffee with Sandy. Because for the last 3 years, that's really what I've done, almost, gosh, 3.5 almost. But having coffee with people just so I can kind of figure out how I can help, you know, somebody that's sitting across the table from me, and then finding out, you know, that they're part of something bigger. It's not just their business. And that's what's so, you know, it just floors me sometimes, you know, to know that.
So in working with you and going through your strategic business and communications plan, I just love what you do because it's not about Sandy.
This is not you, it's not about me.
It's about how Sandy's able to bring things out of her guests and they wouldn't come up in normal conversation. I love how the stories are evergreen because regardless of whether I own Connectionmark today or I get a Fortune 10, you know, I've worked in the Fortune 150s, I wouldn't accept anything less. But if I work for another organization, my story is still my story. So it goes wherever I go.
Yeah.
But you allow people to connect with the audience in a much different way than anyone else I've seen doing it. So,
Well, thank you. I take pride in that, I guess. You know, I mean, I don't even know how to answer it, obviously. So.
I know that you take pride in it because of the because of your why. Your why is to contribute.
Yeah.
You and I both believe that success happens when we contribute to a greater cause. That doesn't say our cause.
Yeah. What was the evaluation that I took?
Yep, it was the Y operating system discovery, and that has helped. I've have 91 clients that have taken the assessment. 97% of them said, "Wow, this is perfect." The 3% that didn't, they're either right way or mastery, which makes sense because they believe that there's a process. And then the mastery folks are the folks that are like, "Well, we got to validate this." And,
Yeah.
but when they sit with it, they're like, "Wow, I've operated this way my whole life."
So with the background in psychology, I've taken every assessment, and if I haven't, I want to. But Myers-Briggs, I've taken Culture Index, I've taken DISC, I've taken Colors, I've taken the Y operating system discovery. This is the first assessment that finds out what motivates you and why you do what you do. It tells you how you process the information and then ultimately what you deliver. And that's the part that gets me in trouble because what I deliver is either wildly successful or it creates a big crater.
Well, then you just start over. Right?
Yeah, so my why is contribute, my how is mastery, my what is challenge. And I ultimately deliver an outside the box solution. But when everyone else is doing something to the textbook and I come in and do things so outside the box,
Yeah.
people wonder how the heck can you be successful? And then if I fail, I might lose my job because it was such a cockamamie idea that they didn't do, but
Yeah.
that's
But at least you tried it,
and I learned from
right?
it, you know.
So what, I didn't ask you, what made you come out here to Colorado?
I was embarrassed.
Oh wow. Why? Just,
You're-
that's when you were in Linden, right? That's.
Yeah, you're 32 years old. You're growing a career. You are on the radar to become president of the National Association of Mortgage Brokers. I had a few more years to go, but
Why? Is that something you have to be in a position long enough in order for you to step up?
There's, you know,
Talking with my name.
yeah, right? All of a sudden we're Italian. there are a lot of members that have been lifelong members, and they've been more involved than I had been at that point in time. I got involved with the National Association in 2004. By 2007, I'd made waves on the national level, and you just have to wait your turn because it's a nomination and could have happened sooner than later. But anyway, you own your own companies, you're traveling the country, you're one of the 2 most sought after mortgage compliance experts just by the way that you deliver teaching law by telling the participants every law that you broke. And you didn't know you were breaking them, but you can't have your picture on a business card, you can't have pictures of homes, because that's against the fair lending laws of 1968. So you grow your careers up to, I grew my career to where I'm like, this is what I'm gonna do the rest of my life. And you have 120 grand on your desk one day, and you might have 20 grand the next day because the lenders shut down. I kept my office open about 14 months too long, so went through all of my savings. Declared bankruptcy, sold my house in a short sale, and it was embarrassing. So let's start over somewhere else. Yeah. Where do I go? I don't know anyone in Colorado Springs.
Nobody knows the background until they start asking questions like me.
And you make $10.50 an hour because you're like,
thank you for answering that.
I don't know anyone in town.
Yeah.
But I quickly got to know everyone in town. And that's essentially what my job was at CenturyLink. Get to know every leader in the community, around the state, and that's what I did.
Wow. Now you worked at the SBDC for, well, you were a mentor there?
A lot of people think that I worked for the SBDC.
I said worked, but yes, you were a mentor there, right? I mean, I don't know how it works there because I've only gone through a program that everybody that has been part of the SBDC has come in and spoken, and you were one of those people that.
It's an amazing organization. The Small Business Development Center is a nationwide network. I got involved with it in January of 2009. Matt Barrett was the executive director at the time. And I was going to a consultants meeting. Keep in mind, I'm making $10.50 over here, but I go to a consultants meeting, a speakers, authors group at Mimi's on North Academy. Wow. I meet Chevy Chevallard, I meet Matt Barrett, I meet Suzanne Tulane, I meet all of the, Kevin Knebel was part of that group. And I showed up and it was, let's fake it until you make it. But I wasn't faking it, just nobody knew what I did.
Yeah.
And Matt recognized right away, he goes, you'd be a great consultant. So for the first 10 years that I was at the SBDC, it was all volunteer. I had a corporate job, and this was my passion project. It's always been my passion project to help clients.
And what did you do there? The same thing that you do now? It kind of expanded. What did you start doing? And then what did you expand into?
You know, when I got involved with the SBDC in the beginning, I think everyone was floored that I could talk about finance, I could talk about technology, I could talk about legal, HR, operations, branding, marketing, and sales. And I could talk about them,
any of them, right?
and I could talk about them interchangeably. So I don't call myself this, but I've been called a unicorn. It's like, how can you consult and coach and mentor, and how can you be all three, and how can you do any of it well? I don't claim to do any of it well. I let the work speak for itself, and it's really about helping the client unlock their superpowers. They know how to do it, they just didn't know what was possible.
Well, like I said, when I sat down with you, I first did the assessment, and you told me what I was. And I'm like, okay, whatever. But then when we started working on building up the strategic business plan, what did you call it? Business plan.
Yeah.
It just really helped me like focus on the definition of exactly what it is that Sips and Stories is about. And, you know, then what other things? I mean, there were things that came out that it's like, oh, I could probably even do that too. But, so it helped me to clear my head of the things I wake up with in the middle of the night, going, oh, I wonder if I should just do this instead.
Yeah.
But it helps me stay focused now. And that's what I think that obviously it is something that you've been good at teaching.
Well, thank you. There's always room for improvement.
Yeah.
I'm not as good today as I will be tomorrow. But I remember the first course that I taught, they said we're gonna get you certified to facilitate Leading Edge, which is a SBDC flagship program. The workbook was 804 pages long, had a 3-ring binder that was equally as long, and it was 14 weeks long, the class was. And I remember I had a retired Navy commander who happened to have a PhD in pattern fractile spotting. And after she graduated, we went out to lunch.
What's that though? Do you
And
know?
I do, because she taught me what it was.
Okay.
But I went out to lunch with her after she graduated, and she goes, how did you learn how to do all of this? I go, do all of what? And she points to this 804-page workbook, and I just look across the table and I said, I've never read it. She was the only person that read all 804 pages. Homework was 140 to 180 pages a week. And she was floored. I said, I didn't learn that in school. I learned that through the University of Life, Opportunity Knocks, and I made every mistake in that workbook.
But it's a
So you
reference
just had the
guide.
cliff notes of, you turn the page and go, okay, this is what not to do.
Well, my presentation style is, let's talk about what the concept is, and let me tie it to a story. So some of those stories are wildly successful. Some of those stories are painfully painful, but they're real.
Yeah.
So yeah. And then I was given another curriculum, and I'm like, sure, I could do that. The PowerPoint slides are right there. It was just a roadmap of what story do I need to talk about now. But it's less about the content, it's more about the participants. So if I focus on what you need to learn versus what you want to learn, every workshop's different.
Yeah.
Because you might have a seasoned business owner who has developed his company into a $12 million company, and it's gone back to $4 million, and he wants to transfer it to his son. He became one of my greatest raving fans. He goes, I couldn't imagine where I'd be if I would have gone through this 36 years ago. I have another client that wanted to sell his business and purchased it, owned it for 17 years, had 184 clients, hotels and restaurants around southern Colorado, and he wanted to sell the business. Well, he purchased it for X dollars. He grew it to be 7 times what he purchased it for, and his son didn't want to buy it. Nobody wanted to buy it in his family until he had the business plan, shared his business plan, starts going on more and more vacations, and the son finally says, well, Dad, I'm already running this business. I might as well buy it.
Wow.
And they already have the plan in place. And then there's the business startups that they don't know what they don't know, which is all of us. Because when I ask a client, do you believe that you can become better? That's the question that I ask, that I truly find out, is this somebody that I can work with and really deliver what they want? If the answer is no, I don't want to get better, well,
Yeah.
so nice to meet you, can I buy your coffee?
Right, right.
When they do want to get better, my job is to really find out what they know, what they don't know, what would be nice to know, and then most importantly, where can you find the resources to get the knowledge that you need?
Right. So, okay, and you also you speak. I know that you did the presentation at the quarterly luncheon, but do you do other speaking engagements, and is it all about the consulting work that you do, or do you do a lot of different things that, I don't know. I mean, I don't know what you speak about because I haven't seen you outside of,
Half the time I don't know what I speak about because I get up there and it's the passion that comes through. I'll have a topic, and most of the time I'll stay on topic. But again, it's who's in the audience. So yes, I've been a professional speaker since 2006. I've been hired for the Iowa Sheriffs and Deputies Association for their annual conference.
Okay, I have to stop you there. What did you do for that?
That was customer service.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Then in 2014, 15, I was the keynote presentation for Junior Achievement of Southern Colorado.
Junior Achievement is such a great organization.
Oh, I love. My class is 5th grade.
Oh, really?
It's the spider web. It's how we're all
Yeah.
connected.
Yeah.
But David Luce was the CEO at the time. He reached out and said, hey Mark, would you be willing to do the keynote? I said, I'd love to. And who is the audience? Well, it's 800 juniors and seniors in high school. I'm like, could it be any more challenging? And we're on a stage like this, and then there's the VIPs, and then all of the students are on the bleachers. And I'm like, well, this is an awful setup as a speaker.
Yeah.
Just
You don't
understanding
mean
group
now,
dynamics.
though, right?
Yeah, no, not here. I'm talking about the
I know.
gymnasium. But whoever was introducing me embarrassed the heck out of me by reading my bio, and I'm leaning forward because it just went on and on and on. It's like,
okay.
and Mark's done this, and Mark's done this, and he has experience in 39 different industries, and we're in for a treat. So I finally, I thought I was gonna go, and then when I get the green light.
So you didn't give them your little
I did.
commercial, or?
Well, I did. I just didn't realize how
That they were gonna
long
read
it was
it
going
all.
to be. So he finally introduces me, and I jump off stage, and I run between the VIPs, and my back is to the people who are going to be paying me, and the VIPs who should be paying me or hiring me. And my presentation was all to
Oh, wow, to the students.
the students.
So I started off by saying, how many of you know what success is? How many of you know what the definition of success is? And everyone raises their hand. Because the definition of success is not what success actually is for each of us. Then I followed it up by saying, how many of you know what success is for you? And all of these hands went down. And I said, that's what I'm here to talk about. Doesn't matter what I tell you success is, it's about what you determine what success is. And then I recited a poem that I memorized in 6th grade. Mr. Stillwell was my 6th grade teacher. And it was, be the best whatever you are. So I didn't have any notes. I never have any notes typically when I speak. And I just started reciting the poem. If you can't be the pine at the top of the hill, be a scrub in the valley, but be the best little scrub at the side of the rill. Be a bush if you can't be a tree. If you can't be a bush, be a bit of the grass, some highway happier make. And I went through this whole deal, and I get done, and these 700 or 800 juniors and seniors stand up, and they're like, woo!
That's awesome.
It was awesome. And then I went into an acronym that I wrote in my first book, the workbook that I wrote in 2009. And it's, if I'm not proud of what I'm doing, there's no sense in me doing it anymore. And proud became my acronym for I want to be passionate, resourceful, optimistic, unique, and determined. And I went through all of those talking points. And then I brought in another certification for the Ice House, which is from the book Who Owns the Ice House by Clifton Talbert. And it's the 8 life lessons of an unlikely entrepreneur.
First one is you have the power to choose. Second one is you have to recognize opportunities. Third one, you put ideas into action, create community, build your brand, define what wealth is, continue to seek knowledge, and be persistent. And I always miss one.
Did you guys count?
If I say them fast enough,
Yeah.
it sounds like 12. But,
We'll list them out.
and again, then I turn around and I talk to the VIPs, and I'm like, thank you so much for allowing me to share this message with our future leaders. And they gave me the same motivation.
Oh.
And David Luce wrote to Penny, my boss at CenturyLink, Penny Larson, my VP GM. She didn't know to love me, hate me, or just what the heck is he doing?
Yeah.
But I remember I'm sitting down during one of my weekly meetings, and she goes, Mark, are you doing what you're doing in the community for you or for CenturyLink? And my jaw just dropped. I'm like,
Wow.
Well, I don't know how to separate the two. Because when the community knows and trusts and likes you, the organization benefits. But I wouldn't have the community if I didn't have this position. So it's the chicken and the egg. A lot of people think that one or the other, and I'm of the belief, this is my challenge, it's like, why can't I do it all?
Yeah.
So I'm Mark Bittle's mother in Storm Lake, Iowa. You know?
Yes, right.
Or I'm not.
Yeah, you're Mark
She
Bittle.
is Mark Bittle's mother. That's always been in my DNA.
Yeah. Well, I'd love to take questions from the audience if you're up for that.
Well, I know half of them. This is more terrifying than talking to you, Sandy.
Is there any questions from anybody?
What else do you do other than soccer?
Relax.
You watch movies, you read books.
I do. I love to watch movies, but for me, my mind's always going. So I fidget. You know, my feet are dancing all over the place up here. I play video games just so that I can focus. I play a lot of sports games because I know I can win, and I don't have to think. I do increase the level every once and again, but yeah, I'll play a Madden or hockey or whatever.
Yes.
If you could give any advice to a small business owner, really coming from the perspective that you started a business and then you went bankrupt and you lost that, but you've come back from it. What is your advice now looking back for what you could tell them if they hit hard times?
Well, I haven't even told you the half of it. I've been divorced as well. I had a drinking problem. What would I say? Every mistake that I've made, I've learned from. And it's the mistakes that you don't take that you will never learn from, but you will never grow. So don't be terrified of what you don't know. It's do what you don't know and learn from it. Most of the time, people only see the successes. They don't see the many challenges. So don't give up. Find a good mentor, find a good coach, find your team that is there to support you, regardless of whether it's wildly successful or not, and lean into them.
Yeah.
All right, no more questions. No, just kidding.
The businesses that you've worked with before, what would be, in your mind, one idea, one business you'd love to come to you to work with?
Every single one of them. And I say every single one of them because I don't work with businesses. I don't work with processes. I develop people. And it's the people that run those businesses. So if a client comes to me and says, I have a problem with my business, sure, I can help the person find a solution to a challenge that they don't even know exists yet. But I love this question for several reasons. Until a client tells me that they are the problem, there's not much I can do other than cheer them on, provide the encouragement. I have a client right now that is in the 0.0003% of the population, has been a national champion, has been received gold medals all over the place, and her body broke down. So the confidence went through the floor. But she has so much experience, and all of us, you could be the most successful person in the room, but you have confidence issues. We all do. We second guess ourselves. We with businesses that start, remember all of the businesses you started? You took a huge risk and you had no idea what the outcome was going to be, and the odds were stacked against you, and your friends and your family said, why would you want to do this? Well, that's not the vote of confidence that we're looking for. But then you start making money and you get comfortable in your lifestyle, and I start to see this plateau. And the plateau is typically because you are no longer taking those calculated risks that got you on that trajectory.
Yep.
So let's figure out who you are, what you do, how you can help, why you do what you do, develop your plan of how you want to run your business, and then let me introduce you to the strategic network that I have that can help get you back on that calculated risk so you're not doing what I did and lose it all 7 times or 3 times or however many times it was.
The times that you want to just forget about
That's
them.
right.
But if you forget about them, then you don't learn from them either. So
That's-
if you try to just stuff them below.
So I find you to be very thoughtful and analytical, but when you retire, what would you like to be remembered for?
I don't think that I'll ever retire, but I may lose interest. It's like the old banker joke. They never retire, they just lose interest. With people, yeah, thank you. The 2 bankers in the room, right? When you do what you love and you surround yourself with people, I'm always going to surround myself with people. And if you were to think of the mentors that you've had in your life, 2 months ago I reached out to my soccer coach. And I asked him, I said, Bill, whew, man, these emotions, you aren't kidding. I feel like Rod Tidwell and Jerry Maguire. I'm not gonna cry. I reached out to Bill and I said, Bill, what did you see in me that made me the captain of the soccer team? Or what was unique? And he reminded me, he goes, Mark, you were in a soccer club that my son and I left to go start this other one. And it was because of the culture that was there. And I remember playing his team that first time. And he goes, you may not remember this, Mark, but I was coaching an inner city soccer team and we only had 1 color jersey. We couldn't afford the jerseys that all of these other soccer clubs have. But your coach, Tim, you guys have 3 different colors in your bag and you chose the 1 color that we have and you wouldn't change because you were the home team. So we had to play skins. And with an inner cities teams, there's all sorts of cultures. Vilasac was from Laos and had Brazilians and everyone. And I went in for a tackle and I didn't hit the ball, I hit the player. And I look up at Bill and he's just shaking his head. What are you doing, Mark? He recruited me to come to that team and he didn't want me to be coached as aggressively as I was playing. But it's finding those mentorships. It's really reaching back out to find out, was I the same person at 14 as I am at today?
Well, and I've heard too that that's what journaling really helps with, is that you can journal every day or, once a week and look back at what you're writing and find how much you've changed or how much you've grown or, oh, that's why I keep doing the same stuff and why, that sort of thing. So.
And it's funny you bring up the analyticals because my clients call me Rain Man because I never round numbers. It's so important that we know our numbers that I drive that point home because I know mine and my clients know their numbers. And my fractional CFO loves that they love their numbers, but numbers matter. I could tell you the number of cars that go through the intersection of Dublin and Academy. It's 62,771. That's important because I have a client that wanted to start an auto repair shop in there, and there are 17 competitors within 5 miles, bringing in $11.8 million, and their goal is open their business at 400,000. So I don't know why I remember those numbers. I used to tell my boss at CenturyLink that I may have a photograph. I don't, but when I learn something, it's important. When I listen to clients, it's important. I can look through the list of 5,780 clients that I've worked with over the last 16 years, and I know their stories. And it's important because I see them, I get to know them, and I listen to them. where so many of us small business owners feel invisible.
Well, in interest of time, I want to thank you very much
Yeah,
for
thank you.
coming and talking on Sips and Stories and sharing your stories, your path to where you are now. And thank you, studio audience, very much for coming. If you have any other questions, feel free to ask those online. We will have the show put out online soon, so you
We
can
are?
ask questions. Otherwise, you can ask Mark when we're done. But Mark, if you can again give information on how people can reach you.
Yeah, please reach out to me. If you see me at a networking event, come up, say hello. I genuinely want to get to know who you are. I will ask you what you do, and I'm going to connect you with other people in the room. I'm going to connect you with meaningful connections. You can find me at connectionmark.com. You can call me. That's the best way to reach me. I'm still the old-fashioned, pick up the phone, and if I'm available, I'll answer it. We'll do the conversation right then and there. We'll get you on the calendar, or I will call you back. If you text me, it might be a couple of days, but I'm working on that. So, yeah.
I think it's great. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I think this deserves a high five.
All right. And thank you, everybody, and we'll see you on the next story.